Good for you. I'm not here yet. Oh, hang on. I nearly am here. Yes. I'm getting here. I'm slowly arriving. Right. I'm checking that I'm in the right place and that it's all the different streams are coming through, because I'm multi-streaming on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, and I have to just kind of check that it's all working and I am sitting in the right place for Instagram, because sometimes I can be a bit off and without realizing it, because Instagram Live crops the camera and it's a thing. See, I'm going the wrong way. Okay, it's all looking good, I think. There's also a time lag as well. Right. How are you? You well? Is it all good? It's all right if it's not, but I hope it is. I hope it's going well for you. Time for a bit of meditation. I meditate throughout the day. This is just the one I do on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, as I was saying. It's not a class, it's just a chance to meditate together. It's part of the further emergence work that I do, and I'll explain a bit more about that when we're finished the meditation. But for now, if you're an experienced meditator, that's great. Glad that you're here. Can you wait for a minute, please, though, while I just explain what I do, just for the benefit of people who are new to meditation? Because I found that meditation is a funny thing in that people feel almost embarrassed if they don't know how to do it. And I'm basing that on people saying that to me, what do you actually do? As if they should just know. Everyone else knows how to meditate and you're the only one who doesn't. So there's lots of different styles of meditation. This is just the one that I do. Or this is what I do. For me, I'm trying to connect with a part of me that I connect to every night when I go to sleep. So it's just not conscious. It's not the dreaming bit, it's the bit after dreaming. So I'm dreaming and then I drop out the bottom of dreaming into deep dreamless sleep, which for me is a very mysterious place, because when I'm there, I've got no thoughts. I've got no memory of being there, but I've got no body, got no stories, got no country, no house, no nothing. I don't even have me, because I cease to exist, really, certainly in the way that I normally register my existence. Which, when you add it all up like that, sounds awful. I mean, why would you want to go? It sounds like death. Yet, I love going to sleep. And when I wake up in the morning, I feel refreshed. So some part of me just knows that that is a good place to go. And that's the place I want to go to when I meditate. That's the intention of my meditation. So straight away, if you're new to meditation, don't do this lying down. Because if you do, you'll either fall asleep or you'll battle sleep, both of which are kind of counter to what you're trying to do. So I encourage you to sit up. You don't have to sit in the lotus position. You can just sit on a chair. I'm just sitting in a chair. If you're going to sit in a chair, make sure it's not too comfortable, because you'll fall asleep. So a slightly uncomfortable chair. Now, as I said, I've got no thoughts when I'm in this place. It's sort of my mind can't get there. So I have to figure out a way of working with my mind. Anthony says, hi, I'm from London. Hi, Anthony. I've got to figure out a way of working with my mind to sort of get to that place. So I've got to get beyond my mind, or part the curtains of my mind to get to this place. So what I do is I just say to my mind, can you just not think for the next 15 minutes? We want to meditate. So my mind at this stage is on board for the whole thing. Wasn't always. There used to be quite a bit of resistance to it, the whole meditation thing, because it's hard for my mind, because it's kind of asking my mind to wait outside the doors of somewhere that I've got to go into. So if you are experiencing a bit of resistance with meditation, particularly after you've been doing it for a while, because initially it's all very exciting to my mind. It's like, oh, meditation, great. So I've read about it. It sounds great. And if you're having resistance, trying to keep up a practice of meditation, then I would suggest give your mind some things that it likes. Thoughts, give it concepts, give it ideas. So read about meditation, watch some videos about meditation, that sort of thing. That sort of thing helps my mind anyway to get more on board with the idea. So once your mind's on board, The next thing is to stop thinking. That's actually not that hard. It's not that hard to stop. It's hard to keep it up, but it's not that hard to stop. So regardless of what I'm thinking about or the content of my thoughts, the structure of my thoughts is always the same. It's always pictures and sound. So if I turn off the pictures and I turn off the sound, that's it. I'm not thinking. So that's great. And then as soon as I do that, I'm into the practice of meditation. Now, the practice of meditation goes parallel with the intention of meditation. So my intention is to go to this deep, mysterious place that I was talking about. It's the place that has all the words written about it, like calm, still, zen-like, all that sort of stuff. That's my intention, to go to this place. The practice of meditation starts as soon as I turn off the pictures and I turn off the sound, so I stop thinking. And then what happens is a little bit of time will pass and I'll discover that I'm thinking again. So I go, oh, I'm thinking again. So I turn off the pictures and I turn off the sound. I stop thinking. Then more time passes and I discover that I'm thinking again. So I go, oh, I'm thinking again. So I turn off the pictures and I turn off the sound. I stop thinking. Then more time passes and I discover I'm thinking again. And so on. That's the practice of meditation. Every time I discover that I'm thinking, I bring myself back to not thinking. Now, I'm alerting you to that because it's easy to get the misconception that in order to meditate correctly, you can't be thinking at all. That if your mind was a lake, there wouldn't be a ripple of thought across it. Okay, that's not my experience in practice. In practice, the two things go together: my intention of meditation and the practice. They sort of do a little dance together. So sometimes I'll be very still and calm and peaceful, and in that mysterious place. And then other times I'll be discovering that I'm thinking. And both are powerful. It's very powerful to be in that very still, calm place, but then it's also very powerful every time I discover that I'm thinking. But it's just a bit more subtle, because what happens is, like, if you are like me, you'll be thinking about the sort of things that are personal to, like I think about things to do with me. Why did I do that? What did that person mean when they said that? How am I going to pay that bill? Or whatever, right? But it's all me, me, me. Now, as soon as I'm in the, I'm meditating, I'm in the middle of a very important, me thought, and then I go, oh, that's right, I'm meditating. And I turn off the pictures and I turn off the sound. So I make that thought disappear. I stop thinking. Indirectly, what I'm saying to myself is, that thought that you had an instant ago that you thought was you and you thought was like, that you were it and it was you. And well, you just made that disappear. So you're not that thought. You're not any thoughts, actually. You're not your thoughts. You're something else. The fact that you do that, that's really powerful. And then the fact that you do it repeatedly, that's, even more powerful. So both have their own power, and as I say, they work together. So the main thing is, if you start to think, oh my God, I'm just thinking all the time here, I'm not meditating at all. Well, that's just another thought. Just turn that off and just come back to not thinking. Don't add to your thinking by thinking that you're not doing such a good job at meditating. Okay? It varies from day to day, even minute to minute it can change. So just every time you discover that you're thinking, bring yourself back to not thinking and you'll be doing fine. Now, while all that's going on, I'm also letting go of tension in my body, or I'm becoming more conscious of my body, is another way of putting it. Now, I have a system for that. I just scan my body from my head down to my feet and back up again, very slowly, very gently. And anywhere I find tension, I let it go. And I use my out-breath to let it go. Which is good for two reasons. One, it's natural to just, use the out-breath. It sort of feels very natural. And then it's also a good way to remember to breathe, because it indirectly is bringing consciousness to my breath, because it's quite easy to hold your breath during meditation or to stop breathing altogether. So using the out-breath to let the tension go is good. Also, when I'm scanning my body up and down, I'm paying particular attention to areas in my body that go across or transverse. Okay, mostly my body runs head to toe, but anywhere that goes across acts a bit like a log going across a stream. It just can, pick up the leaves and the twigs and all that kind of thing. Except in my body, it's branches. So these transverse sites, or transverse areas, have a tendency to accumulate more tension than others. So I just give them a little bit more time. So I'm checking my eyes, particularly, my jaw, my tongue, base of my neck, my shoulder girdle, all my joints. They're all transverse sites. So elbows, wrists, shoulders, elbows, wrists, fingers, my heart area, my respiratory diaphragm, my intestines, my pelvic floor, my hips, my knees, my ankles, and my toes. If you're new to meditation, a nice quiet room is really helpful, because as soon as you close your eyes, your hearing amplifies. And one of the things that can trigger thoughts is little noises. So the less little noises that you have, the more you'll be helping your mind not to think. Similarly, I set a timer for how long I'm going to meditate for. That's just to help my mind have one less thing to think about. Now, I'm going to set my timer for 15 minutes, but I'd encourage you to set yours for 5 minutes if you're new to meditation. Because 15 minutes is a long time to hold. So do it for 5 minutes and then just repeat that 3 times. So you'll still be meditating for 15 minutes, but you'll just, it's a long time even with the timer, if you're not used to it. So just breaking it up like that just makes it a bit easier to start off with. You can kind of work up to it though. Okay, I think we're ready to start. I'm going to start the timer. I just was checking for questions there now. Good. All right, off we go into the mystery. All right, if you feel like you've gone very deeply inside yourself and you need a little bit of time to come back before you open your eyes, then do that. Or if you feel like you can hold the inner space and the outer space at the same time, then just open your eyes. And if when you do that you feel like you've lost the inner space, then just close your eyes again, reconnect. Oh yeah, there it is. Open your eyes again. If you feel like you lose it again, close your eyes again. And open. You can use your eyes like a kind of valve to help equalize inside and outside. As I said, these meditations are part of the further emergence work that I do. Further emergence is to do with growth, specifically inner growth. Our bodies grow, you know, when we're a kid, and then we become an adult and they stop growing. They switch into something else. But we keep growing on the inside, keep growing in awareness and consciousness. And just like when your body's growing, you know, as a child or an adolescent, you go through a period of accelerated growth, or what's kind of called growth spurts, where you can go through the same thing on the inside, where you can go through accelerated growth on the inside, and that can be very disorienting. And that's kind of what further emergence is about, is that growth spurt or accelerated growth. And it kind of manifests in lots of different ways. It can manifest as either physical symptoms, very debilitating physical symptoms, not life-threatening, but just has that quality of putting the pause on your life, like you're trying to get your attention about something. It can be that. It can be a feeling of being stuck. That can be another kind of indicator of it. It can be a feeling of that, you know, one day everybody understands you and you're all relating and everything's great, and then the next day no one seems to understand what you're talking about, or is interested in the things you're interested in, or seeing the things you're seeing. So that can be quite isolating. You can feel what it's about. It's a natural thing that's happening, but it can feel very odd and strange. So the meditations are part of helping with that, because becoming familiar with your inner state is very helpful in that. I also have a Zoom group that I facilitate every Friday, and that's for people who are going through further emergence or interested in it, or there's something in it that sort of is ringing a bell for them. And it helps with a few different things. It certainly helps with the feeling of isolation, because you kind of hear other people talking, or we're talking about it, and you're going to go, oh, it's not just me. We go into a bit more meditation in a bit more depth, and there's questions and answers. So that's kind of more support. And then I work with people one-on-one as well. And that's a combination of talking and then behind the scenes kind of distance work to help with it, and then a bit more talking. So yeah, if all that resonates with you, you can follow along on whatever your favorite channel is. As I say, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, and LinkedIn as well, I think. Not that active on LinkedIn. So yeah, you can, all the Further Emergence has a page or a presence on all those. You can just have a look for those, or you can just go to the website, furtheremergence.com. Okay, thanks for meditating with me, and see you tomorrow for some more meditation. All right, bye. Bye.